Hello everyone, welcome to EduTap. So in today's session, we are going to discuss a very important finance news article that the RBI has introduced the PCA framework for the large non-banking financial companies, and this will be effective from the 1st October 2022. Until now, the PCA framework, the Prompt Corrective Action Framework was only liable or viable for the banks, but now it has been said by the RBI that the PCA framework will also be viable for the large NBFCs. Okay, so we will see that why the RBI has brought such a proposition and why it is saying and what the meaning of the large NBFCs are. Okay, so before starting with the session, I will tell you that there is a flat 50% off on all the combo courses. You can avail this by using the code COMBO, and there is a 40% plus 10% off on all these courses if you take it single, and you can avail it by using the code single. Okay, so now starting with the news article, the PCA framework for NBFC. See, I have already made a video on the PCA Prompt Corrective Action Framework for the banks in the last month, I guess, because the revised Prompt Corrective Action came for the banks. Okay, in that video also I have told you in depth that what PCA framework is. So in today's video we will summarize everything in short, in brief, so that you understand that why it has been brought for the NBFCs and what are the categories of NBFCs that are included in the PCA. Okay, so PCA is the, see, when you do some mistake, your mother scolds you or shows you the right path. Okay, that's the same work of the RBI. That when a financial institution, when the banks or the financial institutions are doing something when they are in financial distress, so it is the work of the RBI to supervise them, do a supervisory intervention at the appropriate time, and to tell the supervised entity to initiate and implement the remedial measures. Okay, to take the correct measures so that the financial health of that bank, so that the financial health of the financial institution can be maintained, can be restored. It is the work of the RBI that is done through the prompt corrective action, that the RBI is showing the correct path to the NBFCs or to the banks. Okay, so the PCA framework is also intended to act as a tool for effective market discipline, so that the financial stability of the country, of the whole financial system, can be maintained. So it is the work of the RBI to show the correct path, to take the prompt corrective action against the NBFCs that are doing some problem, that are creating some financial problems. Okay, so now the PCA framework is applicable to the following category of NBFCs. First, for all the deposit taking NBFCs, all the non-banking financial companies that are taking the deposits, excluding the government companies, will come under the PCA framework. Okay, next is all the non-deposit taking NBFCs that are in the middle, upper and top layers. See, I have told you, I have taught the scale-based regulatory framework in my previous video. You can go and see that. In that I have told you about the middle, upper and top layers. So all the non-deposit taking NBFCs that are in these layers will come under the PCA framework, that is, which have the asset size of more than or equal to 1,000 crores. Okay, so all the non-deposit taking NBFCs who have the asset size of more than and equal to 1,000 crores will come under the PCA framework, and if they have less than 1,000 crore of the asset size, they will not come under the PCA framework. And that is the meaning of the large NBFCs. Either you should be the deposit taking NBFC, then all the NBFCs will come under the PCA framework, or you should be non-deposit taking NBFCs who have the asset size more than or equal to 1,000 crores. Okay, so included, I have told you about the included investment and credit companies, also the core investment companies, infrastructure debt companies, these are all included. Okay, the deposit taking NBFCs, non-deposit taking NBFCs, and this is the criteria of the non-deposit taking NBFCs. Excluded. So who are excluded from the PCA framework? The government companies are excluded, the primary dealers are excluded, the housing finance companies are excluded, as well as the NBFCs that are not accepting or intending to accept the public funds, that are not deposit taking NBFCs that have the asset size of less than 1,000 crore. that have the asset size of less than 1000 crore will be excluded, but if they have asset size more than 1000 crore, they will be included under the PCA framework. That is, RBI will be regulating them through some criteria. Okay, so why is there a need for PCA for NBFCs? Because NBFCs have been continuously growing in size and number. There are nearly 10,000 NBFCs in our country. So substantial interconnectedness with other segment of the financial system, they have become very important for the financial system of our country, and they have become very interconnected. As well as the PCA was needed for the NBFCs because the regulatory system for the NBFCs is not very strong. And when the IL&FS, the crisis in this financial institution came in 2018, okay, this is the NBFCs. After that, the Diwan Housing, this happened in 2018. Then in Diwan Housing Financial Corp also, the Surrey Group, then Reliance Capital recently. So there was a lot of problem, a lot of financial distress that was created by these NBFCs that deteriorated their own financial health, and they were saying that we cannot pay back the loan. So after this, the RBI said that now we have to regulate the NBFCs more strictly so that such kind of condition do not happen again. Because if a large NBFCs fall down, many of the depositors' money, many of the people connected with these institutions, with the NBFCs, also go down. They also face a lot of problem. The financial system of our country faces a lot of problems. So the regulatory system was not as strong as it is for the banks, and that's why after all these conditions, the PCA framework was also brought for the NBFCs, as well as scale-based regulatory framework was also brought for the NBFCs. Okay. So now different criteria for the NBFCs. If you are a deposit taking NBFC or you are a non-deposit taking NBFCs that have the asset size more than 1000 crores. Indicators that how you will be put in the PCA framework. Okay, there are different criteria. The CRAR, that is the capital adequacy ratio, that how much capital you have, or the capital to risk weighted assets ratio. Okay, if I explain, I have told you all about the CRAR, the tier 1 capital ratio, the NPA ratio in the previous video in which I have told you about the PCA framework for the banks. I will just briefly tell you in this video so that I can maintain a short video. Okay, otherwise it will go on for a long time. So CRAR is the capital to risk weighted assets. Whatever you are giving the loan, these are your assets, these are the assets of the bank. So there is some risk attached to those assets, and that's why the capital has to be kept. Some money, some capital has to be kept, a proportion of the risk weighted assets, so that when the depositors need their money, you can at least give back the money. So if you are giving 50 of your assets to someone, okay, you are giving the 50 rupees as a loan, it has some risk attached to it, because maybe the loan, the person that has taken the loan, maybe he won't be able to give back. So this capital gives you a little leverage, it gives you a little time for the, like, it absorbs the shocks, because of course if you have given the loans of 50 rupees to different people, not all will fault. Okay, there will be some very few defaulters. So this capital is being kept so that you can absorb the shock, you can absorb the financial distress. Okay, then comes the tier 1 capital ratio. This is the tier 1 capital, means the capital that has been kept in a convertible form, that it can be easily convertible, like retained earnings or the shareholders equity. These are easily convertible. You can easily use them while there is when there is a financial distress, when you want to absorb the shock, or when there is some situation where the depositors need the money. Okay, so this is the tier 1 capital ratio that can easily absorb the shock without stopping the functions of the bank. Then comes the NPA. This I have told you a lot of times, that NPA is non-performing asset. That is the asset that you gave but it is not coming back, or even the principal, even the interest is not coming back. So this is CRAR. Then the tier 1 capital ratio and the net NPA ratio. So the RBI has told some thresholds, so told some percentages which you have to maintain of these. If you are not able to maintain the percentages, then the RBI will put the PCA framework on you. and it will, PCA framework is the corrective action that you will have to take after that. Okay, the restrictions will be posted on you under the PCA framework if you are not maintaining the percentages as told by the RBI. CRAR is just that if you are giving the loan, if you are making some risk, so you have to keep some capital aside, so there is a absorption of the shocks when the shock come. If the there is risk attached, so you are not, the loan is riskier and it becomes a NPA. So this is the capital that helps you to absorb that shock. The tier 1 is just that asset that is easily convertible, that can absorb the shocks easily. Okay, there can be other capital also, that is the assets that you cannot easily convert. All of that comes in the capital. So next is for CICs, for the core investment companies, indicators to be tracked are adjusted net worth, aggregate risk weighted assets, leverage ratio and the NNPA. I have told this in the previous video also, you can just go and see again. Now CRAR 15% is the minimum regulation. If you are not maintaining the 15%, if it is below 15% till 12%, you will be in the threshold first, that is you are not very risky. If you are between 9 and 12%, you are risky. If you are below 9%, then the NBFC has turned very risky. It is in a very high financial distress, that it is not maintaining 15% of the capital of the 15% of the money that it has given in the assets. Tier 1 capital ratio, you have to maintain 10%, 8 to 10% you will be threshold 1. If it is between 6 to 8%, threshold 2, below 6% it will be threshold 3. NPA ratio, there is no good NPA, all the NPA is bad, even 1% is bad. Still, if it is between the 6 to 9%, threshold 1, 9 to 12%, 2 and the above 12%, it is very risky, that is threshold 3. So you can see this through the RBI, the actions like the circular the RBI has given. Next is, these are the, now some actions will be taken. If you are in the threshold 1, some actions will be taken by the RBI, the corrective actions. If you are in the second and the third also, there are different actions that will be taken. So if you are in the first, these actions will be taken, that there will be restriction on giving the dividends, okay, restriction on the issue of guarantee, or there will be contingent liabilities, that there will be restriction that who you are giving the liability, who you are giving the assets to. As well as addition in the risk threshold, of course this will be maintained. Additionally, restriction on branch expansion will be there in the risk threshold. All of this will be there. Additionally, appropriate restrictions will be on the capital expenditure that you are doing, restrictions on the variable operating cost. So this is all. There is some extra actions also that the RBI can take if it feels like it. So this you all have to remember. I have told you what was the things needed to be understood. Okay. Next, exit from PCA. Now if the NBFC has entered some PCA framework, it is in the threshold 1, 2nd or 3rd, there will be some criteria to get the NBFC out of it now, because we want to make it healthy, we want to have the financial condition healthier for that NBFC. So if it doesn't breach the risk threshold in any of the parameters, I have told you the 3 parameters for the NBFC, the deposit taking and the non-deposit taking. So if it does not breach any of the risk threshold for any of the parameters, for 4 continuous quarters, quarterly financial statements, quarter is 3 months, 1 quarter, okay, so 4 continuous quarterly financial statements, then it can come out of the PCA framework subject to assessment by the RBI. Then based on the supervisory comfort of the RBI, if RBI feels like yes, this NBFC is doing really well, it is maintaining the financial health of itself, then it can including an assessment on sustainability of profitability, that yes, it is maintaining the profitability, then the RBI can put it out of the PCA framework, that you do not need the corrective action now. So these are the homework questions now that the RBI has introduced. PCA framework for NBFCs, which of the following categories of NBFCs are not under the application of the PCA framework, or they cannot go under the PCA framework. So recently, what would be the indicators to be tracked for the NBFCs deposit taking and NBFCs non-deposit taking? So you have to tell this also. So thank you very much. I hope you have understood the topic, and if there is some confusion going on, you can see the previous video. In that I have told you all of the things, all of the formulas very in depth. Okay, so thank you very much. If you have any query, you can mail us here or you can contact us through this number. Do give the answers of the last two questions in the comment section below. Thank you very much.